I know what we play. That's all.
I understand that you're upset. No, I didn't mean to make you feel any type of way, but I've been real with you.
Will you be...
It all falls apart in a single moment, a pause, a hesitation, a question that should have had the easiest answer in the world, and instead, it becomes the final crack that shatters everything. Natalie looks at Gino, waiting, hoping, and he just stalls. That silence? Yeah, that was louder than any confession. And if you've ever been in a situation where someone couldn't give you a straight answer when it mattered most, you already know exactly how this ends. But before we dive into this emotional train wreck, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. So here's where things start to spiral. Gino had one job. One last chance. After everything, the lies, the past drama, the mess with Jasmine, this was supposed to be his redemption arc. His moment to prove he's changed. And for a second, it actually looked like he might pull it off. I mean, they go on this escape room date, right? And on the surface, it's kind of perfect.
They're laughing, working together, solving clues, celebrating small wins. You almost forget the tension bubbling underneath. It's like watching a couple trying to glue together something that's already broken, smiling through it, pretending it's fine. And honestly, we've all seen this before. That moment in a relationship where things feel good, but deep down, you know it's not fixed. It's just quiet. Fans on Reddit were already calling it out. One comment literally said, "This feels like when you're having a nice day with someone you know you're about to break up with." And that hit hard, because that's exactly the vibe. But here's the thing, Natalie wasn't fooled by the fun. Not even for a second. Because later, when they're sitting down for drinks, the real test begins. And you can see it in her eyes, this isn't just casual conversation. This is it. This is the moment where she decides if Gino is worth another shot, or if she's walking away for good. She asks him one simple question, will you be communicating with other women? That's it. That's the whole test. And instead of just being honest, clear, confident, direct, Gino freezes. He fidgets. He mumbles. He starts overthinking how to phrase it so he doesn't say the wrong thing. And that right there, that's where he loses. Because Natalie isn't just listening to his words, she's reading everything else. The hesitation, the discomfort, the energy, and suddenly, it all feels familiar again. Too familiar. You know that gut feeling when someone's not telling you everything. When their answer feels incomplete. Yeah, that. Instagram fans were going off at this moment. One comment said, if you have to think that hard about a yes or no question, you're already guilty. And honestly, it's hard to argue with that. Natalie's frustration builds fast. You can see it rising, like she's replaying every past moment where she gave him the benefit of the doubt, every time she chose to trust him even when something felt off. And then, boom, she's done. She storms off, saying she wants to go home. Just like that, no dramatic speech, no long explanation. Just, done. And Gino, he's sitting there confused, like the ground just disappeared under him. Because in his mind, things were going well. They had a good day. They were laughing, everything felt fine. But that's the problem, he thought the test was about having a good time. It wasn't. It was about honesty. And he failed. Now here's where it gets even more intense, because Natalie actually comes back. And this is the part that hits differently. Because when someone walks away and then returns, that means they're giving you one last chance to fix it. One last chance. She sits down, calm but firm, and basically pulls the truth out of him. No more games. No more dodging. And finally, Gino admits it. Yes, he's been talking to other women online. No, he hasn't met them in person. But yes, he plans to keep doing it until they're officially exclusive. And here's the twist that a lot of people didn't expect, Natalie doesn't freak out about the other women. That's not what breaks her. It's the dishonesty. She literally explains it so clearly, it's not about exclusivity. They're not officially together. He technically didn't cheat. But the problem is the pattern. The half-truths. The hesitation. The feeling that she has to drag the truth out of him instead of him just being upfront. And that's what she refuses to tolerate anymore. If you've ever been there, you know exactly how powerful that moment is. It's not about one mistake, it's about realizing that the same behavior keeps repeating. And suddenly, you're not just reacting to the present, you're reacting to everything. Reddit users were calling this a growth moment for Natalie. One person wrote, "She finally realized her worth. It's not about what he did, it's about what he keeps doing." And honestly, that's one of the most relatable things in this entire episode. Because how many times have people stayed in something, hoping it'll change, only to realize it never does. And just like that, it's over. Their goodbye feels heavy, unfinished, like something that could have worked, but didn't. And Gino, he's left sitting in that confusion again. But this time, there's something different in his reaction. He actually compares the situation to his past with Jasmine, saying he misses how direct she was. And that's kind of ironic, right? Because the very thing that probably caused problems before, brutal honesty, is exactly what he needed in this moment. Meanwhile, in a completely different storyline, something unexpected is happening. While Gino and Natalie are falling apart, Sophie and Pedro are doing the exact opposite. And the contrast, it's almost painful to watch. Because where Gino avoided honesty, Pedro leans into it. Their beach conversation starts awkward, tense, a little distant. Pedro even greets Julia more warmly than Sophie, which, yeah, that's already a red flag. But instead of shutting down, they actually talk. Like really talk. And this is where things shift. Pedro admits he felt like Sophie was playing games. Sophie admits she felt overwhelmed by how serious he got too fast. And suddenly, it clicks. It's not that they didn't like each other. They just weren't on the same page. And instead of letting that misunderstanding destroy everything, they adjust. Pedro apologizes. He agrees to slow things down. No pressure, no expectations, just getting to know each other. And Sophie, you can literally see her soften. Because that pressure was the problem all along. Fans were loving this arc. One Instagram comment said, "This is what happens when two people actually listen instead of just reacting." And that's exactly it. Their connection starts to rebuild, not through grand gestures, but through understanding. By the time they go on their horseback date, the energy is completely different. It's light, playful, even flirty. Sophie teases him, he compliments her, and for the first time, it feels natural. And then comes the moment that seals it, their kiss. Not forced, not dramatic, just real, and it hits harder because of everything they went through to get there. So while one couple collapses under the weight of miscommunication, the other finds a way through it. And that's where the real twist starts to take shape. Because at first glance, this episode feels like a simple story of failure versus success. Gino messed up, Pedro stepped up. But if you look closer, it's deeper than that. Because here's the uncomfortable truth that fans started pointing out, and this is where things get really interesting. Gino didn't just mess up. He repeated a pattern he never actually fixed. And Natalie didn't just walk away. She finally stopped accepting something she used to tolerate. Which raises a bigger question. Was this relationship ever actually going to work? Or was it always heading toward this exact ending? Some fans believe Gino was never truly ready for the kind of honesty Natalie needed. Others think Natalie was testing him in a way that set him up to fail. But then there's a third perspective, the one that kind of hits the hardest. Maybe this wasn't about passing or failing at all. Maybe this was about revealing the truth that was already there. Because when someone shows you who they are, especially more than once, you eventually have to decide if you're going to believe them. And Natalie finally did. So now I want to ask you, do you think Gino really blew his last chance, or was this outcome inevitable from the start? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this one's got people seriously divided. And if you felt that moment, if you've ever been in a situation where someone couldn't give you the honesty you needed, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, because these stories, they only get crazier from here.
What do you think? Comment below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.